Guys, in this video we're going to be painting the abominable snowman, or Yeti, whatever you want to call him. He's like a big snow monster. So make sure you have your canvas out and ready. You're going to need a couple of brushes. I've kind of got this medium-sized one and the smaller one. Paper towels. I've got a whole roll over there as well, just in case I need more. And then the colors for this particular painting, we have white, blue, and black. And the best way to get your paint out of these little pots, I just take a little scoop with a butter knife. It doesn't take a lot at all. And then I just scrape it off and then wipe my butter knife clean and get another color. Make sure you get your lids put back on as soon as you get your paint scooped out. You don't want them drying out quicker than normal. So yeah, let's get started. We're gonna do this background area that's behind our Yeti first, and I'm gonna mix up a little bit of a color. So I want it to be kind of grayish. So I'm gonna take a scoop of white and a little bit of black, stir that in to get this nice light gray. And I also want it to be a little bluish. So just a little bit of blue, doesn't take much at all. And I'll stir that in there as well. So I've got this kind of dull bluish gray color. Make sure you get it all stirred up nice and even. And then I'm just gonna go in and get my whole top area here filled in. Around his little horns. I'm just lifting my canvas up a little bit so I don't paint the table. I still forgot to put something down. But make sure you're just getting your paint smoothed out nice and even. You don't want big old blobs of paint on your canvas. You want to get them spread nice and even and thin. So there's the background. That part's finished. I'm going to go ahead and clean out my brush. And then next I'm gonna paint his whole face white. So get all that blue off your brush, dry it out. And for this area, because it is so big, you can use a great big brush if you want to. I'm gonna switch and use this nice big one, just some white paint, and get his whole face covered. And you can go over the eyes and nose and mouth. so long as you keep your paint thin. If you're a globber, and you know that about the way you paint, you might go around them and be a little bit safer. Jossie, the dog, you hear barking. She thinks she wants outside, but she'll do this all day long. In and out. Let me see. Let me let her out. Come on. She's gonna want to be back in about 3 minutes. I'm just spreading it out. So I got it all up here. So as this dries, his face will become more visible. I'm gonna shoot it with my blow dryer so I can show ya. Everything is blown away. I think I'll get my paper towel that flew across the room. Okay. So next, let's see, where are my brushes? Right here, I've got my medium-sized brush. And I want to kind of make the inside of his face a very, very light blue. I'm not going to use this grayish blue. I need to make a brand new, brighter blue. So just a little bit. It doesn't take much at all. Just kind of dab your brush in some of your blue and stir it in with quite a bit of white. So it's still very, very light. But you can see between these two, that one has black in it and it looks grayish blue. This one will be brighter. And it does dry darker on your canvas. All your colors will be slightly different once you get them on there. So I'm gonna make kind of like a circle oval-y shape around his face. And it doesn't have to be perfect. Like that. And then I'm just gonna fill that in using my light blue color. Go around his little eyes. And you can use white also to smoosh it around. Especially if your color ended up being very dark. You're gonna wanna add some white in while you work. So we're using the blue that we made and white, kind of alternating back and forth between colors. So right now, I'll take a little bit more blue. And now I'll take a little bit more white. And this way he kind of looks a little splotchy, like he's not all just solid light blue in this area. He's kind of got lighter areas and darker areas. I'm going around the teeth, around the nose, around the eyes. Just get it filled in. And then when you get it all filled in, I want you to make your edge a little bit sloppy. So a little bit of white on my blue-white brush. It's kind of got a little bit of all my colors. I'm just gonna kind of make my edge messy so that it looks kind of like fur. And it can come out the sides. Doesn't have to be perfect. And just back and forth. Sorry, my light is putting terrible glare. So there. Got that all filled in. Now I'm going to clean out my brush. And I'm going to go back in on the head and do the horns. And we're going to paint them black. So let's get our brush clean. A little bit of black paint. And I like this is wet and I like to rest my hands. So I'm just going to flip it over so that this area is nice and dry. I don't have to worry about smearing paint. Just take your time, get this horn shape filled in. If you need a smaller brush, go ahead and use a smaller brush. Make sure you're getting all your globs spread out. Got his horns done. I'm going to switch to my smaller brush. So get that cleaned up a little. My smallest brush I have out here is this one. And take a little bit of white paint. Just a little white on the tip. And I'm just going to kind of brush it in to that wet black. If your black has dried, you could put the white on and then just take a little bit of black on top to smush it around and make it blend. So this is just making it a little bit lighter on the one side, kind of on this side. Then I'll do the same on the other horn. I'll do it on this edge and then just smush it around. Well, this side's a little bit more dry. It doesn't want to blend as nice. So I can just take a little bit of black on my brush. Add a little bit more weight on this one. There's Joss. I knew she'd be back soon. Okay, I'm gonna let her in. You guys keep working on that. Okay, so we got the horns done. Let us do the eyes. They're gonna be black as well. I'm using my smaller brush. I'm just using a little bit of black paint. No mixing, just black. I'm gonna fill in his eyes. I don't know what she's barking about. She wants out again, even though I just let her in. She's a pain right in the hiney. So we got his eyes done. Spread out your globbies. And we're gonna clean our brush. And for the nose, we're gonna do just a really dark gray. So for dark gray, we're gonna mix a nice scoop of white and a nice scoop of black. Maybe a little bit less black than white. We just need a nice dark gray. So about like that. And we're gonna fill in the nose. So you can go over the nostrils or go around. I'm gonna go around. If you go over them, you'll just have to paint them back on by yourself without any line, which isn't hard. And then I'm gonna paint the nostrils black. And this is just teeny tiny bit of paint on your brush. So the spot that we're painting is very little. If you get a lot of paint on your brush, you'll end up with big globs. You can just wipe them off with your brush and like on your plate or on a towel to get rid of some of the excess paint. So next I'm gonna add some fur on his head. Well, yeah, no. Next, I'm gonna put kind of like darker swooshes around his face. So I have my light blue. We're gonna have to make it just a little bit darker. And so just a teeny tiny bit of blue on our tiny brush and stir it in to your light blue. It's not gonna look that much different. We just want it slightly darker blue. And I'm gonna go around the eyes. Kind of brush it in nice and loose. So it's not like perfect circles or anything. It's just kind of sloppy in the shape of kind of a circle. And I'm gonna do a little bit kind of under the nose. So kind of on the nose. I'll touch that up. Get a little bit more down here. And then take a little bit of your original light blue color. And you can just kind of soften that up a little. It's just kind of going on your edge. Just taking a little bit of that lighter blue right back on top. And I'm going to touch up my nostril real quick with a little bit of black. I got it on there. All right, next let's do, we gotta add some fur to his head. So just using white I'm probably gonna use my medium brush. I'll get better fur that way, I think. Just cleaning it out. I'll start in the middle of his head. This is just white paint. Then I'm gonna go kind of straight up and down. And then as I go around his head, I'm gonna curve it a little bit in the direction that I'm going. So I'm going to the left. My angle of my brush is gonna go slightly to the left. And I'm going to the right. What is this? I don't know. Got it though. And we're gonna give him some eyebrows. Ooh, I had to sneeze. Phew, excuse me. And once this white fur on his head dries, we can add another layer on top just so it covers up that line of his head a little bit better. But for his eyebrows, they're gonna be big and bushy. And I'm just dabbing the white on there. And let's paint his teeth in, just using some white. He's got these great big fangs. And these will be outlined in black, so they will show up better later. Right now we're just gonna get a nice, fresh, clean white paint on there. And while I'm using white, a little bit on my little brush. On the horn, I'm just gonna move it so I don't put my hand in wet paint. I'm just gonna put a swoop down the edge and down the side. So it's on the left-hand side of the left horn. And then on the right horn, I'm gonna go down the right-hand side. And in the eyes, this dot's gonna be the big dot. And then I'm gonna do an itty bitty dot. I'm gonna use the back end of my brush. Just gonna poke it into a little bit of white. And just right below it, put a little dot. And you don't even have to push hard. Just a little push. Then make sure you wipe that off on your towel. You don't wanna accidentally forget that you have paint on the back of your brush. Now I'm gonna take a little swoop of white across the top of his nose. And as your eyebrows dry, go ahead and layer on a little bit more white paint. Just help them show up because our blue is so light. And you can touch up your fur on his head. And then lastly, I'm gonna go in to finish up his face and do the outline of the mouth and around the teeth. So I like to use a nice small brush, a little bit of black paint, and position your canvas whatever is easiest for you. So his little mouth curls up here, comes around, and goes up. I'm gonna just position it like this. And then as I move around with my brush, I like to keep my canvas moving too. And I'm going to go around his teeth. Oops, got too much. And then, I believe he looks pretty done. I think I just need to add some snow. So I'll clean out my little brush. And add lots of snow on my background. So just using white paint. I'm just gonna go in and put lots of snow. And just little dots. I just put my brush down and just kind of give it a little twirl. Go over my eyebrows one more time. Maybe a couple of furs. There, and he's all done. Go ahead and sign my name. I'm gonna use a little bit of this blue, add a little bit more in just so it shows up better on my little snow guy. Sign right here. You see? All done. Hope you enjoyed painting this Yeti with me. If you want to share, I love seeing your finished paintings. So if you go to my Facebook page at Paint Willy-Nilly on Facebook, obviously my Facebook page, you can just send in a message or post right to the wall. Whatever you prefer. Either way works for me. Thanks a whole bunch, and I hope I see you in the next video.